Oh my God, no one joined.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, all.
Okay, let me share my screen. And by the way, do you guys have any questions from whatever we have discussed in the last two classes?
No, the notes that you have shared, sir, I think left.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Do you have any questions from whatever we discussed earlier?
Only the notes that you have shared, that is the old one, like from February 12th, not from our class, I think. Might be you have shared something different.
No, no, that is the latest notes only. That is actual Google document, which I keep updating it.
Ah, okay.
Whatever I'm writing right now, right? This is already there in that document, and the same language is used there also. This is just my rough notes, which
Sure.
I'm writing here only for the sake of it, because I don't want to show any PowerPoint presentations in the course.
Okay.
Kiran, I did not get access to those actually. Can you just share that link here in this chat so
No,
that?
I need your email address on the WhatsApp. So,
Okay.
okay, but I
Okay.
think Ardi, you have messaged me on the weekend. Is that you only?
Yeah, I am the one.
Okay, okay, fine. So Vipin, you can also message me on the WhatsApp group your email ID. I will share the notes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And both of you have confirmed your enrollments. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
done the payment and all.
Okay, okay. Vipin, you just WhatsApp me on the actual group. I will give you access soon after the class is completed.
Yeah. Sure. Kiran.
And we'll wait for another 2 to 3 more minutes. I see some folks are trying to join, but in the meanwhile, instead of being silent, if you have any questions in general with regards to software testing, accessibility, please ask in this class now.
Sir, I want to share you something. Today only I got one job description, and I was like, are we going to cover this topic? I will just send you, just check it.
Put it on the chat.
Yeah, sure, I'm going to do it quickly. Mm.
Yeah. And one more question, Kiran. So, as per the job profile, so a certification they are asking is some other certification, not ISTQB, CPCC, something like that. Are you aware of that?
Mention the certification name, let's see, because there are numerous certifications for usability and accessibility.
Okay. Okay.
And again, each country has a different certification also.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sir, after this course, I can say like a 1 year of experience I have in accessibility testing.
Happily, you can say. Okay, so let me read your job description. 4 to 8 years of experience in accessibility testing and functional testing. Okay. Good client handling, communication skills, good understanding of testing concepts. Tools is JAWS, we are talking about it. NVDA, we are talking about it. CCA means color contrast analyzer, we are talking about it. And other accessibility testing tools. So I said almost 10 other tools I'm teaching you, so it's all there. Familiarity with WCAG guidelines, yes, we are talking about it. Experience using common assistive technologies, yes, we are talking about it. Screen readers, yes. Magnifiers, yes. Voice recognition, yes. Experience in manual, functional, and compatibility testing. So that is manual testing, which I'm sure you're already aware of, Aarti,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
part of
that
our
no need
testing.
to worry. Yeah, that I can do.
Yeah, experience in writing test cases. Yeah, you are already aware. With regards to accessibility, I will share the test cases.
Mm-hmm.
Familiarity with the defect management. I think you are aware of bug tracking and reporting in Jira or similar tools.
Yeah.
And accessibility testing on browsers, yes, we are doing it, but we are not doing it for iOS and Android devices. The whatever knowledge you are gaining now in this course, if you open that application on the smartphone browser instead of computer browser, you have to just open it on the that other browser. That's the only difference. The
But
next
how?
one is operating systems knowledge. So that is not related to the course. That is general, general knowledge, how to use a, operating system.
But sir, what about the native apps? Can we accessible the accessible testing we can do on native apps like which are not opening on the mobile browser?
Yes, you can do that. The same JAWS software, whatever I'm using, you will have to use that for mobile apps.
JAWS is for mobile apps also. I think for voiceover is for app.
Yeah, I mean, what I mean is JAWS, NVDA, then narrator. These are top three, and then voiceover. These are top four screen reader softwares.
Okay.
If you whatever I'm teaching in this course, like three softwares I'm teaching, you might see some fifth software specific to iOS app or Android app. It will work similar to what I taught you in these three apps, because these three are like the father of the remaining apps.
Okay. Okay. I'm eager when we will do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, from today onwards, you will be getting into slowly all these things.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So now we will get started, guys. And so the topic I'm talking today is what is usability testing and how do people measure it? I'm sure you are aware of what is usability testing, and we have given so many definitions to it during the interviews, right? So same definition is what even I will also provide you, but how do we measure it? Something that we have to understand it. So when I say usability testing, it refers to how easily your user can access the application on a computer browser or on the mobile app. Not just how easily they can use the application, it is also how efficiently they can use and interact with your application. So people say that, hey, if I'm able to use WhatsApp, WhatsApp is usable. That's just 50% of the definition. But is WhatsApp increasing your efficiency? And if you can measure it, then only we say WhatsApp is actually usable. Similarly, Facebook, Instagram, Gmail, or Google.com, any other application. Okay, so people say if I can use my application easily, it is usability testing. That is not the end of it. You should also say your application has to be efficient in terms of the interaction the user does with that application, right? So what factors do you think address the efficiency of user interaction? Maybe the ease of usage. Is the application easy to use for every people, for every person in the world, or is it easy only for Aarti and Kiran but difficult for Vipin? If that is the case, the application is not usable by some set of people. Because if you remember, I said accessibility testing is for everyone on the internet. Usability testing is also for everyone on the internet. Okay, and remember, accessibility testing is a child or a subset of usability testing. So first I'm teaching you the parent definition. Before I get into accessibility, I'm teaching its parent definition called usability. So I can write here, usability testing refers to how easily and efficiently users can interact with the application. Okay, whether it is on computer, browser, or mobile app. And there are ways how you can measure it also, which we'll talk about that. Okay, so the factors that play the role will be the ease of usage. So the factors, meaning the key factors considered to measure how efficiently users are able to interact with your application. They are, the key factors considered are, I can say probably ease of use. Then user satisfaction levels. Like, is the user satisfied after using the application or not? That is also important. And minimum, or I would say zero error rates while using the application. These are the three factors we consider to talk about how easily and efficiently the users are interacting with your application. Ease of usage means the application should be easy for all types of people in the world to use. So if I take WhatsApp application, right now in this call, Vipin, Jazz, Aarti will confirm that, hey, this WhatsApp is easy for me to use because I'm able to make a video call. I'm able to make a chat message in a group or individual users. But you're talking probably from a self-centric perspective. Let's talk about our grandparents or our parents who are not probably good in using the mobile apps. They find it difficult to type, probably because of motor issues like their handshakes, or they don't know that English language, or they don't know your local language. So in that case, is WhatsApp usable to them, to grandparents or parents, or probably to some person in the world who is not that educated? But he or she could not be denied of the WhatsApp usage, right? Can artist stand up and say, okay, Mr. X, since you are not educated, WhatsApp is not meant for you. WhatsApp is meant only for Aarti and other people like Vipin and Jazz because we are highly qualified. Do we say like that? No. Does WhatsApp owner say that? No. They say WhatsApp is for everyone. So how can I convince the opposite guy who is not educated? Okay. Currently, I'm taking the disability as education factor. Okay. Who is not good in English, who is not good in your local language in terms of typing the message. So WhatsApp introduced a feature called that audio thing. If you just press that audio, then the audio opens up, and then that Mr. X can speak anything that they want. Probably they wanted to wish someone on their birthday. So he might say, okay, happy birthday, John. Right? And then he releases that mic icon, and then the message goes from their Mr. X WhatsApp device to the other WhatsApp device. So did we enable Mr. X to use the WhatsApp application? And did I say, hey, Mr. X, though you have the disability of education factor, we made it easy of use to you? And obviously now so many people are using WhatsApp to convey their wishes, to convey any message. Probably when they recently went to Mahakumbh or they went abroad, they're able to use that mic, and then they're able to send a message to their beloved ones who is far away from that city or country. So every person today, irrespective of their education factor or irrespective of their motor disabilities, they're able to use WhatsApp with that audio function. Hence, I can say that WhatsApp is having this metric, ease of use. And coming to user satisfaction, right? How can I ask Mr. X, are you satisfied with WhatsApp? Yes. And the person will say, yes, Kiran, I'm pretty much happy with the usage of WhatsApp because earlier I had difficulty of using WhatsApp, but now I can use WhatsApp. Though I don't know how to type, I'm able to clearly convey my messages to any person in the world. He or she is able to make an audio call. He or she is able to send an audio message. He or she is able to make a video call. He or she is able to block their incoming video or block their video or resume their video whenever they want. So the user has the control. So Mr. X will say that I'm pretty much happy. So user satisfaction is met here. And user satisfaction is met by conducting surveys and submitting feedback forms to the users. Like every time you make a WhatsApp video call or audio call, after the call, sometimes you might have noticed WhatsApp sends a message. How satisfied are you with WhatsApp? Or do you have, I mean, have you experienced any problems with WhatsApp? And then 4 checkboxes are there. I'm sure all of you can visualize that picture when you made a WhatsApp audio or a video call. I get it too often, right? So that's how WhatsApp is taking the user satisfaction levels. And then the third one is zero error rates, which means when the user is using that application, the user should not be encountering any type of errors. Example, after recording the message and you release that icon on that WhatsApp, suddenly if you get an error saying, we have encountered an error, please record one more time. Have you ever come across that message? At least I have not come across on my phone. Right? Not only me, the people who are using it also, mostly they're not encountering it. So error rates should be minimized and finally they should be zero. Because if the application starts giving errors, the users get little irritated, right? People who don't have time, they definitely get irritated because they might be sending a message in an emergency situation, and they have only one opportunity to send a message. I mean, think of that kind of scenario. Okay, guys, give me just 1 second. I'll be on mute. Thank you for waiting, guys, and sorry about that. Okay, so we're talking about zero error rates. So the users should not be encountering any errors while using the application in the production application. Initially, we say minimalistic errors, but finally we say zero errors. So this is how usability testing typically talks about. Okay. Now let us talk about the measurement factors. Like what factors typically play a role when usability testing is measured by organizations. Okay. Now let us say Aarti gets a job and she was given the responsibility of doing usability testing. So she has to keep all these points, whatever I'm teaching in today's class, in mind, or any one of you should keep in your mind while testing usability. And usability testing is typically non-functional testing, which I've told you already in the previous class. Right? Accessibility testing is non-functional, and accessibility testing is a child of usability testing. So it is a non-functional testing. When it comes to non-functional testing, you don't have too much of automation to be conducted. It is all non-functional characteristics, right? So visually looking at the application, you will be able to comment. Okay. So what factors actually play a role? I will write and I will explain to the best of my knowledge. And this is more important in your interviews. Just you need to remember these bullet points and that should be enough. So we'll talk about a factor called effectiveness. Okay. Now the definition of effectiveness in usability testing is pretty simple. How well the real users can complete the task correctly and completely using your system, meaning your application. Example, if I want to say, I developed a browser, and let's call it as the same browser that you are seeing. I want to see how Vipin can use this application. So I'll tell Vipin, open the browser. So he opened it. I'll say, click on plus button on the top to open a tab. Yes, Vipin says, yes, Kiran, a tab opened. And I will say him, okay, type Isha Training Solutions. And he or she types that. And I say, press enter. And I will say the application has to open on the browser. And yes, it has opened. You are able to scroll down, scroll up, and you are able to see the rendering of the UI and the HTML elements. So here I have given a task to Vipin, open a browser and access a website of your choice. So how effectively he was able to do it? Obviously, yes, he was able to do this particular task correctly and completely without encountering any errors. Right? So this is a task success rate. Effectiveness is nothing but this one example I can give you. Let me write it and probably take one more example in case if you want more clarity. How well users can complete the given task correctly and completely without encountering errors. This is how people measure effectiveness, meaning test engineers measure effectiveness. So we will take one example of an online banking system. Okay. Now, all of you are transferring money for sure, right? We transfer money through UPI apps like Google Pay, Phone Pay in India. Or let's say you don't have the options of UPI apps, then you do this internet banking, which we call it as NEFT process, right? Online transfer of money from your savings account to some other given account. So the task that I'm giving to, let's say, one of you. So I'll take Jas as an example. So Jas has to supply or Jas has to transfer money from savings account to some other savings account of his friend. So that is a task given. So what is the success metric and what is the assessment? Like, these are the factors that we talk about. So I will say here, example I'm talking about, example task, meaning for this task, we have to measure effectiveness. So the use case is transfer money from savings account to another account. From savings bank account to another bank account. So this is the task given, or this is the task we are doing probably on one of the banking applications. So let's say, this is the banking application I have, and somewhere here after I have logged in, I have these services, and I will be able to transfer money from one account to another account in this application. So if Jas is given the task of transferring money, how he will simply say, okay, I transferred 1 rupee and the 1 rupee went to another bank account. Okay, that's how he measures it functionality wise. But from a usability testing and effectiveness perspective, we talk about for every task, you should measure the success metric and you should measure how you are assessing it. So the success metric is if the user is able to successfully transfer the money from one account to another account without receiving any errors, without having any additional deductions, then I say it is successful transfer. That's how I measure successful success metric. So I will say the definition for a non-functional tester who is doing usability testing, the success metric is the user successfully completes the given task by transferring money without encountering any errors or without having to seek external assistance. Like if Ja says, I'm having difficulty in transferring the money, so can I call the customer care and get some support? Yes, he can do that. But the moment JAS is dependent on someone else, effectiveness will not have success metric, because individually our application is not helping the user of our product to complete his or her actions, right? Every time you cannot call customer care, right? If that is how the application has been developed, then we are having a lot of disabilities in the developed application. Okay, so let me put all these things. So that is how I define my success metric, and you can suggest me few more if you think they are also valid. Then we'll talk about assessment. Assessment is all about like when the JAS comes and says, okay, Kiran, success metric is achieved. The opposite guy, the developer, can question him, right? Okay, how did you assess it? Like, how did you come to that conclusion? Then his answer would be something like, hey, you know what? The system allows the user to select the correct accounts, right? Meaning I'm transferring money from savings bank account. Let's say the account number is Kiran 12345. Let's say that is how the account number looks like, to another bank account. And let's say another bank account number is JAS 54321. This is his account. Okay. So assessment will say that the online application that I'm using or the mobile app I'm using, it allows the user to select the current accounts, meaning from I was able to choose Kiran account, and in the from I should never see JAS account because I'm logged in as Kiran, so I should see Kiran's account only. I'm able to see it. To some other person I want to transfer. That some other person could be Arti in the drop down, could be Vipin, could be JAS, could be some other friends of mine. So if I'm able to see JAS account also in the drop down under the to category, okay, so then only I will say it is having the assessment factor complete. So the system allows the user to select the current accounts, input the right amount. Like when you're transferring money, you will have to supply the amount, right? So when you say amount, it should not allow you to type minus numbers. It should allow you to type some positive numbers. But how many numbers? Can I transfer these many nines? Definitely no, right? It should transfer only some limit defined for that user based on the privileges he has got. That is also part of my assessment, meaning you should know that functional requirement also. Okay, so input the correct amount or right amount for that user who is logged in. So if Kiran is logged in, based on Kiran's eligibility, whatever amount he or she is able to transfer, only that should be the maximum amount and minimum being 1. And then you submit the transfer process without encountering any errors. Okay, this is how I probably assess it. So I will say the developed application allows the user to select from account to account and valid amount to transfer. Okay, valid amount to transfer. Okay, so guys, this is how we do assessment for usability testing under effectiveness category. So do you have any questions until this point?
No, but it's not a part of, I mean, it's a child of accessibility testing. It's not related to the accessibility. It's for functionality testing, right?
No, it is not related to functional testing. That is correct. And it is not a child of accessibility. Accessibility is a child of usability testing. Usability testing is a parent testing technique. Under usability testing, accessibility testing is one of the child, which means when you do not use any tools in your project and you have to still measure usability, right? You need to have some test case written or some way of measuring how the application is usable. So you need to write test cases keeping these factors in mind, right? Just imagine, okay, forget about the course. You have not enrolled in the course and there is no person called Kiran teaching you. Open any application, right? Example, if I say, let's say I'm taking some application and there is a username, there is a password given here. I'm logging in. Okay. Yes, the functional test case has passed where the user has to log in. And then here he can book an appointment with a doctor. Okay. So when I click on book appointment, the doctor appointment has been booked. This is functional check saying, okay, the user is able to book an appointment with doctor and he's able to log out successfully. So I have shown you three operations now: login, log out, book an appointment. If I ask you do usability testing for it, think about all the possible ways how you will conduct usability testing. Okay, maybe that's an assignment I'm giving to you today. If you have time, just think about it. Take any other application, need not be the same application. How do you do usability testing? If you say end of the day after thinking for 1 hour, I'm not sure how I can do it. Probably whatever I'm writing today will give you inputs how to do it.
But like you mentioned, the error that the user successfully complete the given task by transferring money, then it will be act as a functionality testing. But we said usability is a non-functional testing, right? So
Yeah. Of course, yes. It is a non-functional testing only, but don't you think in non-functional testing, part of it would be functional aspects also? Example, to correlate it, if you are coming from performance testing background, when I do performance testing for 1,000 users, let us say I wanted to check whether 1,000 users are able to log into the application at the same time. So when I run Jmeter tool for performance testing for 1,000 users, I will also write a functional check that all the users should be logged in at the end of the day, giving me a success response code as 200 OK, and I should see a message called successfully logged in. So that is also a functional check, which I'm doing in performance testing, and performance testing is non-functional. So every non-functional testing involves a bit of functional testing for sure. The only difference is you want to do exhaustive functional testing there. Just one positive functional check only you will do. Otherwise, how can you categorize the non-functional characteristic? Right? So no testing can be conducted 100% non-functional, because if your application is functionally not working, who cares about non-functional characteristics? Right? Example, right? Let's take a funny example. Okay. Let's say there is a dating application and there is a girl or there is a boy who saw the opposite gender and they got attracted by looking at the profile picture. Right? So looking at the profile picture is a non-functional characteristic. Right? You saw that person, nice dress, nice physique, nice color, nice height, and perfect body mass index. So let us say Kiran got attracted to that person. Let's say there is a lady on the dating application, Kiran got attracted. That's a non-functional characteristic. I message her saying, hey, can we catch up on a date tomorrow in the evening? And that person says, okay, sure, let's catch up for a coffee. So I caught her in a coffee bar. And when she starts speaking, I didn't like her voice, or I didn't like the tone in which she's speaking. Then probably I'm talking about functional characteristics. Right? Do you think I will go and get engaged to that girl just because I saw her profile picture and I am in love with that profile picture? No, right? No person does that stupid activity, at least today. Just by liking the picture, you don't get married to someone or engaged to someone. You get into conversations. You get to know the taste. You get to know their individualities. You get to know their tone. You get to see their emotional behavior. If you don't like them, okay, there only the separation happens. Probably I'm calling that aspect of coffee dating as functional aspects. Right? So for two people to get engaged, you need non-functional characteristic plus a functional characteristic also. Similarly, in your applications, whether you are doing performance testing or security testing or accessibility testing, a bit of functional characteristic is also necessary. And that is what you are seeing here. And I'm not talking about try sending 0 rupees, it should not go. Try sending 10 nines, it should not go. Try sending only $1, it should go. I'm not taking all the combinations. I'm simply saying one combination is enough. enter some valid amount, choose the write from account, choose the valid to account. It should go without any errors. Then I'm saying the application is effective. Okay.
Kiran, we can say in this terms, right? How much easily a functionality can be performed can be
Yes.
considered, right?
Of course, yes. And that is nothing but effectiveness. I mean, instead of using
Yeah.
that terminology, I use the word effective. But what you said is also 100% correct. So that's what I think it also says. The given task should be completed or correctly completed.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay, let's talk about efficiency factor now. Earlier we spoke effectiveness. Now efficiency factor. Efficiency is probably measured, in my view, like this: the time or resources required for the users to complete the task. Otherwise, I can simply say task completion time. Here, I can say in the first definition, I can say task success rate. So in effectiveness, I measure whether my task is successfully completed or not. In efficiency, I'll check how much time it is taking for user to complete the task. So same bank example you take. How much time did Kiran took to transfer the money? Maybe if he says I took 3 minutes, then the owner of the website will say, okay, may I know the reason why you took 3 minutes? Is it because you are busy with a phone call, or is it because my application is not usable to you, or is it because you have to call customer care for some reasons? Based on the answers I'm getting from my users, I will figure out as an owner of the website or as a developer of the website how I can minimize the task completion time. So your application should be developed in such a way that we don't irritate the users with unnecessary questions in between. Allow him to log in quickly, allow him to transfer money, allow him to log out quickly. That is how I measure efficiency. Right? Example, after transferring the money, maybe or during the transfer of money, when I click on transfer money button after entering from account to account valid amount of transfer, the moment the user clicks on transfer money button, right now the money gets transferred immediately. If my application comes and says, okay, I will ask you a question why you are transferring money. So that's a useless question, right? Why you are transferring money from Kiran to Jas? I have to give reason. Why should I give reason? And that's killing my time, right? So there the efficiency will take a backseat. So the application has to be developed only asking the user the required questions and not unnecessary questions. If you ask unnecessary questions, the time taken to complete a task will increase and people will start comparing your application with another banking application, and there is a possibility that users can switch from your application to another competition application. That's why in usability testing, we measure task completion time. Example, if you're working with Bank A will compare its time taken to transfer money versus time taken to transfer money with Bank B, then with Bank C, then with Bank D. Every bank tries to project the information as if we are the fastest to transfer money as compared to Bank B, Bank C, Bank D. And that's how people specifically talk about efficiency factor. If I have to give one more example for efficiency, let us say the time taken for you to purchase a specific item on an e-commerce application, let us say laptop, right? So I will probably write it down here. So the task here is find a laptop or find an iPhone, whatever you want, find an iPhone or laptop and purchase it on an e-commerce application. So how do we measure the success metric here? And how do we measure the assessment? Task is something I can tell you, but success metric depends from one person to another person. Each person can measure it in a different way. So I'm giving here my thoughts. You can also provide your success metrics here, and I can probably guide you whether it is correct or not. So the success metric is how much time it took for the user to find the laptop on e-commerce application, how much time he took to add it to shopping cart, and then to complete the checkout process after logging in as a user. So that is the time, that is the success metric I'm going to measure. The time taken by the user to find a laptop, add to shopping cart, complete the checkout process, meaning the payment process. All these three things together, I will probably term it as success metric. And if you say, hey, we should also help him in coupon codes during checkout. If you want, you can explicitly write it, or I will say it is part of my checkout process. And if you say where is login, because without login you cannot do checkout, probably I assumed that login is part of my checkout process, or the prerequisite is the user is already logged in. Okay. Now, how do you assess it? Like when you tell the developer the success metric is met or the success metric is not met, then you need to have how you assessed it, right? Then you tell him the functional steps, meaning the workflow steps you will tell him. Something like the user starts searching for, let's say, HP laptop, Hewlett Packard laptop. Then he navigates through the different product configurations available, like 16 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, 256 GB RAM, such kind of options he's doing it. Then he adds it to the shopping cart and he completes the payment process related to it. So you have to measure the time taken starting from search process until the message comes where it says the order has been received at the e-commerce application. So if the task completion time is shorter, it indicates a more user-friendly system. So I will write only that system. A shorter task completion time indicates the system is more usable or more user friendly, while a longer task completion time may indicate the system has issues during navigation to checkout. So this is my assessment factor. Okay. Now, how do you measure whether the time taken to checkout is shorter or longer? The developer might have already given you one benchmark metric, like the time taken to complete the payment process, or the time taken to add to shopping cart, or the time taken to search and display the results. All these actions individually should not take more than 2 seconds. So I will just check here. There are 3 steps I'm doing. Finding a laptop, 2 seconds. Adding it to shopping cart, minimum 2 seconds, but it can be less than 2 seconds. Completing the checkout also should be 2 seconds. So overall 6 seconds is the time taken. So if the time taken is 6 or less than 6, I will say shorter task completion time. The time taken is more than 6 seconds, I will say longer task completion time. That is how I'm going to comment here. This is how people measure the efficiency here. Am I clear, guys, on the efficiency part?
Yes, Kiran.
And I'm sure all these things are something you can definitely correlate it now, because these are everyday things that happens in our life. And if you're already coming from manual testing background, most of these things are something you already are aware of. But I'm telling it mostly from a usability testing perspective. The language is little different. Like I'm using the word task success metric assessment. I'm not talking about a test case 1, test case 2 in usability testing. Okay? So now the next thing I want to talk about user satisfaction levels. That is also important. Is the user satisfied? That is more important. So the definition of this could be the overall user satisfaction and the comfortable factor the user has got while using the system. And you measure it using some surveys.
Yeah, one question here, Kiran.
Yes.
So the efficiency we measure using the time, right? So
Yes.
we will always compare with see, if there is one website comes up with 6 minutes, right? So if there is another website which gives 5 minutes, so then that efficiency factor will change to 5 minutes, right? So it will compare with the other competitors and all, right? Kind of.
Yes. True. Initially, we will do usability testing as per our internal benchmark. Let us say which is 6 seconds. And we have
Okay.
achieved it. And when you get a when you have to compare it with competition products at the later stages of your development process or after the production is done, Now you want to beat the competitors. Then the benchmark will be revised from 6 seconds to probably 5 seconds. And you have to repeat the usability testing one more time.
Okay. Okay.
So that's a business call. So if the business says, yes, we are competing with competitors, then definitely another cycle has to be conducted.
Okay.
Now we'll talk about the satisfaction, the user's overall satisfaction rate and comfort. The user should be comfortable with your application, okay? Not just satisfaction rate. The user's overall satisfaction rate and comfort factors while using the system that we have developed or while using the application that we have developed. Whether it is a computer browser application or a mobile application, doesn't matter. And often measured through surveys or feedback forms. Okay, example, I said WhatsApp does that. I get a lot of messages from WhatsApp for that. And here again, we have to talk about a task, success metric, etc. So this is the task. Success metric and assessment. The task we can take to measure this one could be, again, any task. I will talk about, let's say, order food from a nearby restaurant. Okay, these days, most of the people are ordering foods, right? You order food from a nearby restaurant when your schedule is little busy, right? So if I take that particular scenario where Kiran is ordering some breakfast today from a nearby restaurant, so how would I confirm that yes, I'm satisfied or I'm not satisfied? Okay. So the success metric here can be, how do I say? Maybe I should see a quick menu that helps me categorize whether I'm looking at vegetarian part or non-vegetarian part. So I can apply a filter and get the required preference. Second thing is, if I'm a repeated user to that particular restaurant, or if the application I'm using, okay, is a common application I'm using every day, then the application should know my preferences. Like it should say, hey, yesterday you have ordered idli, so do you want to order the same? Yesterday you have ordered a vada pav, so do you want to order the same? So something like that, then I will feel, okay, hey, application is talking to me because it is telling me what my earlier preferences are, so that I can quickly complete, the process of ordering food from a nearby restaurant without having to search again the 20 different menu items for the breakfast. So that's how probably I can say the success metric. For Kiran, that is success metric. Your definition could be little different. Okay, so I will say here, the application suggests the user his previous order dishes so that the food selection can be made quick. Okay, this is one way how I can measure success. There are 1,000 ways you can measure it, guys. I repeat, based on our thinking process, based on the project, you can say, right now I'm thinking only of this scenario as a success metric. Otherwise, I can also say one more, the application allows the user to select veg mode or non-vegetarian mode. So that is also one success metric for user satisfaction, right? Because if I talk about pure vegetarians, they will be pretty much happy when they know that, okay, I'm getting pure veg items only. And people who eat non-veg, they doesn't care whether he is getting a veg mode or a non-veg mode. So, but we have to keep in mind the conservative people also. So that's how I will do my success metric. So there are two success metrics I have given here. And how do you assess it? Probably I will ask questions to the users, like saying, the user is asked certain questions like how easy the application is for navigation, how easy for you to locate the dish of your preferred of your choice, how satisfied are you with food delivery and food packing, and the temperature at which the food is served, meaning did we serve you hot or cold, like you ordered for cold items, so did we serve you cold, you ordered for hot item, did we serve you hot, like this. You can ask multiple questions to the user and get his feedback, right? All the e-commerce applications these days are asking these questions to measure usability only. Okay, so these are certain questions I can ask. See, I can put all these things under assessment, and finally I will say based on the user rating. So if the user rating, finally I will say if the user rating is 5, users are satisfied. If the user rating is 4, the users are neutral. If the user ratings are less than or equal to 3, the users are unhappy, meaning not satisfied. So this is the definition Kiran is giving, assuming that this is my project requirement. So that is how I'm going to assess it, a usability testing. Meaning I will not wait until the application to go to production. Since I'm a test engineer working in usability, I will only complete this success metric by ordering food, and I will assume that the food has been delivered to me, and I will check how the feedback has to be passed on to the owner of the website or owner of the product application. Okay, this is how I can talk about satisfaction rate. So in the interviews, you should talk in this language only for usability testing. Any questions here? Guys, any questions, or this is good? Non silent.
This is fine. Kiran.
Okay, fine. So there's a question from Jas. This is my first class. Will we get written notes, recordings? Yes, the answer is yes, Jas. You will get access to the recorded videos. You will get access to all the notes. Confirm to me if you have completed your enrollments. If that is the case, I will give access to you guys immediately. So tomorrow I will continue with remaining factors in usability testing. Okay, there are 3 or 4 more factors there. We have just 5 minutes left. So probably we cannot talk about that in the limited time. But over to you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the chat or here. Yeah, so just you have to complete your enrollment with Isha team. Please get in touch with them, or you can WhatsApp us. We'll guide you with the payment process. Accordingly, the recordings and the notes will be shared. So Aarti and Vipin, any questions? And Jas, if you also have any questions, you can ask.
Yeah, Kiran, you asked about the certification, right? That is CPA, CC, and WAS.
CPA.
CPA, CC, something like that. I have pinged you. Some job profile is asking this one. CPA, CC.
Okay. This is in India only?
I think so.
Okay. Both certifications are related to web accessibility. CPACC stands for Certified Professional in Accessibility Core Competencies. So same as what we are talking. WAS talks about Web Accessibility Specialist. I don't think so it is different. Whatever you are going to learn in this course, we are definitely covering minimum 70% of what this certification looks at. Maybe some other theory you might have to learn on your own, because accessibility testing is a universal topic, and accessibility testing, usability testing depends on your thought process. Like Kiran is whatever I'm teaching in this course, right? It is not from a book. I'm teaching it from my experiences, and all my experiences are related to realistic projects. And every person has a different style of putting their satisfaction rates, their error rates, their measurement factors. Therefore, a lot of theory also you have to read, which is probably present in the notes present under CPA, CC, or WAS. But our course in Isha definitely helps you to be familiar with these things.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So Kiran, the negative testing is also come under the non-functional testing, or I can say functional testing.
Negative testing is always functional testing.
Okay.
And accessibility testing or usability testing is positive testing, right? Because day one, we already wrote here, accessibility testing comes under positive testing. Meaning in this course, we will never talk about a negative scenario. I will never talk, and you should also say that, hey Kiran, what if you enter invalid username? Maybe I can show that and teach you what is the accessibility factor there if need be. Otherwise, I will say, no, we should never touch the application from a negative functionality perspective. Because already the functional tester is taking care of functional aspects by providing input values which are valid and providing input values which are invalid.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. And we will take at least another week of time, maybe week or so, maybe week to 10 days, meaning 7 to 10 days to do a lot of theoretical understandings before we go to practicals. And I will try to bring in that practical flavor whenever needed, wherever necessary, to make you guys more enthusiastic about this course. But all I request is your patience has to be there. And in fact, I'm not showing you any written document and just reading it. No PPTs also. I'm writing it so that you can relate that, okay, a live discussion is only happening. Okay, guys, with that, we'll conclude the class for today. I'll see you guys again tomorrow, same time. And Vipin, you can chat your email address. I will give you access to the document. And
Yeah,
Aarti,
sure.
whatever document you got access, that is the final notes. I will keep updating it if necessary.
Okay. Okay, sure.
Okay, fine then. Thank you, everyone. Just if you are interested, please complete the enrollments. Talk to Isha team. Tomorrow is the next class, just same time, 8 a.m. IST. Every day, Monday to Friday. India timings, guys, in case if you're joining from abroad. Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Sir, thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.